Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to my channel. This morning guys, we're going to discuss two things. Thieving politicians and particularly Andrew Holness in this particular case due to the Integrity Commission's report, one, and two, the evidence which points to Andrew Holness sabotaging himself, no, not sabotaging himself, sabotaging the JLP and wrecking the chances of the JLP winning the 2010 election. Let's get right into it. Guys, the brown stuff seemed to have hit the fan. The matter of thieving politician has once again come up. And this big hoopla now is that our Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, seems to have several bank accounts with thieving money. Now, and in all honesty, does this surprise anybody? No, don't get me wrong, Well, what I'm surprised about is that the bank accounts were actually found. Not that me never know, say, Andrew would have thieving money. Because, let's face it, every politician a thief. Every single politician that had ever walked this earth is a thief. Every single one. And if there's any human being out there who think that Andrew Holness or any other politician on earth never thief no money yet, you are simply retarded, plain and simple. Because if you bias to that point, then I'm afraid when you try to cross the road, because a car just might lick you down. There are certain things we have got to face, And one of the realities of life is that politicians will always thief. Every single one. There is one though that I have a little doubt upon. And that is, there's this man who used to be the MP for East Rural St. Andrew. East Rural St. Andrew, that is Papine, Augustown, Bull Bay, Harborview, and so on. That guy, his name is Joseph Hibbert. Joseph Hibbert died poor. And you see, because Joseph Hibbert died poor, I have this feeling that him never thief no money. Because why they would have to chomp up to bury him? Although what I hear otherwise doing is that he was an old gallus, and most of why him thief, him galley out. But I'm not sure about that. And I'm going to reinforce that point by saying this. Let us not forget, Philip Palwell came into politics dirt poor, and he is just around the third richest man in Jamaica today. Remember, also, Pernell Charles, when he went to take over Eastern St. Thomas back in the 70s, he was earning the salary of a trade unionist. And in about 3 or 4 years, the man owned almost the entire Ducking-Fields estate in St. Thomas. When get money to buy all that? Doctor the books, and nobody never cared. P.J. Pattison owns about 140 acres of land in Westmoreland at a place called Culloden. For most of you who know Culloden, if you know Outsea Park, like you leave St. Elizabeth and heading for White House, before you reach in a White House, you have them pretty house on the left there. Everything on the right is owned by Percival James Pattison. And I mean, he owned that before he became Prime Minister, when he was just an assistant to Michael Manley. And at that time, he was a lawyer who was not practicing law. Now, I could go on and on and on, but I think you just might get my point. Before I do that and bust somehow in a bubble, I need to mention one other person, President Obama. When President Obama, before he got elected, his total assets were said to be $1.9 to $2.2 million. US dollars, of course. When he was leaving office 8 years later, his assets were $98 million. And bear in mind that a US president's salary is less than $500,000 a year. The salary is around $400,000 a year before tax. I know someone are going to talk about book deals, but book deals thing where both him write book, that's a scam. But I don't want to go into all of that yet. That's for another video. And you see, because of that, I have never concerned myself about politicians with thief. Because thieving politicians will always be with us. I know someone, I go say, not thieving politician over my side. One of the thief them there over the other side. My boy them over here so are well honest. Really? And that is why when me see a bag of people in a New York or Florida, a whole placard about labor rights government a thief. Really? So hold on, where the PNP is in, them are never thief. Therefore, having accepted the realities of life, why do I focus on? I prefer to focus on the things that I can change. So what I started looking on is the efficiency of politicians. Therefore, since all of them are thief, how else will we know if they are worth voting for? And I say, let us look at the value they have given to the country. Right, because if 6 of them on this side are thief, and half a dozen over the other side are thief, we cannot grade them on being honest. So we need to grade them on something else. And what I look at is their efficiency, the value they bring to the country. Therefore, which of them had added enough value to the country so them can have something to thief from? Bear in mind, them are got thief anyway. Let us face it. Them are got thief anyway. So there's no escape from thieving politician. Let's get that straight. Right? And then let's move on. What value has they brought to the country? Because basically, if you add so much value to the country and you have something to thief from out of what you put in the wealth of the country, then fine. As let's face it, you did a thief anyway. But if you don't bring no value to the country and still run down the country and still thief out the little and creep out the bottom of the bucket where you not bring no value to and bring the country worse, then that is where I have a problem. Let's face it. Which brings me now to the point I'm trying to make. Let us look at some statistics. According to my research, Jamaica's growth rate over the 18 and a half years when PJ Patterson, or put it this way, when the PNP took control over the government from 1989 until they left office, was an aggregate minus 2%. In other words, they left the country worse off than they came in and see it. But if anybody can provide different statistics for me, I will use it in my next report and make my corrections. As for the current JLP government, the aggregate from the time they took office, just over the past 7 years plus, our growth rate overall in aggregate is 4.2%. In other words, they seem to have moved the economy further. Now, this is not to suggest I am justifying them thieving. That's not what I'm doing here. I am saying this. If you are going to have two set of thieving politicians are going to run your country, which one would you prefer? The set of thief them we have put something in the kitty for your thief from, or the one them who are run down the kitty to nothing until I creep out the bottom of the bucket. That's the point I'm trying to make. And I'm not being partisan here, you know. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Because my political allegiance is to Jamaica. And whoever I go make sure there's something in the kitty for thief from, whichever party that is the party I will support. Oh, by the way, guys, I need to add this, you know. You know, there's a difference in the ethos of a thieving laborite and a thieving comrade. I'm going to tell you what it is, because some of you might know it. I've seen it, you know. You wanna see when a laborite thief, him thief for himself. Him not thief and give nobody nothing out of why him thief. You see when a comrade thief, a councillor or a MP, most of the time, look out for the little old lady who want her diabetic medicine or little blood pressure pill, and all of the little shut-ins where in them house, the little granny who want her little grocery, them look out for the little community people them. Laborite when him a thief, him just thief enough for himself and him good. But that don't make them less thief, them are still thief. As a matter of fact, there is something that Jamaica needs to know. And this is something that had been greatly rumored in the circles that I used to move. Andrew Holness did one of the most egregious acts when he just became Prime Minister. I mean, at the time when Portia, at the time when Bruce Golding handed the job to him. I hear that there was a discussion between Portia Simpson Miller and Andrew Holness. The discussion was this. Portia said to Andrew Holness, listen, brethren, you're young, you know, you're young. You have many years to rule. I need another 5 years. After me get this 5 years, I will leave. But I want you to give me another 5 years. I will provide you. I will set you up for life if you just allow me another 5 years. Sit back, relax yourself, let me go through, and I will provide you with more than enough money than you have ever seen at one time in your life. Now, I don't know what amount that money was. However, Andrew then went on a personal campaign to sabotage the JLP from winning the 2010 election. How did he do that? You know why I believe it is true? Andrew Holness' main point when he went on the campaign trail, and if there's any laborite who can tell me that this is not true, any laborite who has been on the campaign trail with the JLP and who heard Andrew Holness on a platform, remember that the main mantra of Andrew Holness' campaign was bitter medicine. Is there anybody who remember that? All Andrew went up there and preached was a bitter medicine, and that was his mantra. It was his song. It was his campaign slogan, bitter medicine. If you go on a platform and he described bitter medicine tremendously and totally, how can you go on the campaign trail and make your only slogan, or the slogan that you sing song from your go and teach you to come off, call it bitter medicine and expected to win? Andrew sabotaged the 2010 election for a bag of money when used and built the house upper Beverly Hills, because Portia was true to her word. The first thing Andrew did was to sell out this damn country to the PNP and sabotage the Labour Party for a bag of money. That's the first thing Andrew did when he became the Prime Minister of this country. He makes sure feather firmness first. However, to be fair, when he came back, the country moved further up and developed more since he has been back. All me do right now is just split the facts, It's just show all the facts, because me not take up for no side. So the bottom line for me is Andrew Holness is as devious as any other politician that exists. But what we need to do is to choose the lesser of all the evils. Because all of them are evil, All of them are evil. All of them are thief. So remember say that the first thing Andrew did do when him just come in is to feather him own nest. And say none of them politicians are no nice. Anyway guys, thank you for visiting my channel. Like, share, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.